If you don't tighten one screw, everything falls apart. I want to give our praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash, giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. The house of David is rising. Health concerns on Capitol Hill. Caught on camera, a moment raised questions about aging lawmakers. And we're going to check out some of this news. If you don't tighten one screw, the whole thing falls apart. I don't know if I'm going to title it that, but there is a lot of truth in that old saying, that old wise saying. If you don't tighten one screw, the whole thing falls apart. Let's check out what's going on in the Senate right now. The lawmakers who are making laws over the land, man. This is madness. This is what you call a puppy show. Let's check it out.
In Washington, Dianne Feinstein appeared confused during a vote Thursday, just one day.
Drop it to the top.
Concerns about lawmakers' health after incidents involving two of the most senior senators in Washington. Dianne Feinstein appeared confused during a vote Thursday, just one day after Mitch McConnell froze in front of reporters. Elizabeth Schultz is on Capitol Hill with the story. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, George. The uncomfortable moment during a committee vote here with Senator Dianne Feinstein is the latest incident sparking a debate about the health of lawmakers in Congress and their ability to do their jobs. This morning, Senator Dianne Feinstein is battling new questions about her age and health. During a Senate committee meeting Thursday, the 90-year-old California Democrat appearing confused.
I would like to support a yes vote on this.
As Feinstein begins reading, an aide comes rushing to her side, interrupting her and urging her to just vote on the defense spending bill.
It funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Thank you. The awkward moment is reigniting concerns about Feinstein's health after shingles and resulting brain inflammation kept her away from Congress this year for more than 2 months. Feinstein is the oldest senator in a chamber where the average age is 65, the highest on record. The Senate's longest-serving leader, Mitch McConnell, now also under scrutiny over his health.
Strain of
The 81-year-old freezing mid-sentence for more than 20 seconds this week during a press conference. McConnell later returned, insisting he was feeling fine. Senator Feinstein's office says she was preoccupied during the chaotic meeting and didn't realize that vote had started. She has said she will not seek re-election next year, but some Democrats are urging her to retire now, given their slim majority in the Senate and these ongoing concerns about her health. Guys.
All right, Elizabeth Schulze, thank you.
This is a puppy show, man. This what you see right here going on in the news is a puppy show. You're 90-year-old Feinstein, senator. So this is the concerns they have in the Senate right now. Let's check out another one because I find it quite interesting. We're going to get into some precepts. This is the we know we're in the last years. Feinstein appears confused during Senate committee vote, told to just say yeah, you know that, right? And NBC. This is from NBC News. The other one was from Good Morning News. It's actually quite amusing. I find it quite amusing, but it's a nice nice excuse to get into some words, because we're gonna take this and use it as a teaching moment. This is a teaching moment for what the kind of world we're living in today. Let's check this one out.
And Sahil, it's not lost.
She's 90 years old, and Biden is 86, if I'm not mistaken. He's 86. Trump is about 82, and you got this Mitch McConnell, he's 81. These are old age pensioners in the Senate. And I'm not even exaggerating. These are all old age pensioners. Biden 86, Trump 82, Mitch McConnell 81. This lady here, Feinstein, is 90, and the average age they say is around 65.
And Sahil.
So these are all old age pensioners right now making rules in the Senate. You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
And Sahil, it's not lost on me. There has been ongoing discourse around sort of the median age of lawmakers today. And I know there was even a moment involving California Senator Dianne Feinstein that is getting a lot of attention just today, where another senator appeared to tell Feinstein to, quote, just say A during a vote. First, take a look.
It funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Thank you.
Notably, Senator Feinstein is 90 years old. Are there concerns about her health on Capitol Hill, too?
Oh, absolutely there are. There have been concerns for months about Senator Feinstein's health. There were calls from Democrats for her resignation, which ultimately led to her deciding, announcing that she was going to retire at the end of 2024, not run for re-election. It looks like she's going to try to finish out her term. And she had this awkward moment where there was a roll call vote, and she thought it was time for her to give a statement. Now, her office has just commented, told our colleague Frank Thorpe, that, things were a little chaotic going back and forth between the roll call votes and the statements on appropriations. The statement from her office says, quote, the senator was preoccupied, didn't realize debate had just ended and a vote was called. She started to give a statement, was informed it was a vote, and then cast her vote, unquote. Again, Feinstein's office saying here, nothing to see here, just a chaotic moment.
Okay, Sahil Kapoor, thank you.
Nothing to see here, just a chaotic moment. Yeah, these people are responsible for making rules, for making laws on the street. The laws that you see in the streets today, AKA over there in America, these are the people that enforce these laws, man. This is a joke thing. It's up the Benjamin might call it a puppy show. So when you get brain freeze, I think we looked at it in one of my previous videos. It's senile dementia or amnesia. If you get a hard blow to the head or any kind of trauma, you can start to suffer from those kind of things. Brain freeze, senile dementia, and this is well known among them Edomite, the so-called white people. It's well known among them. I know because I used to visit some of these old people's homes when I was doing that Christian thing. You know what I mean? So on the ministry as Jehovah's Witness. So you see that very popular among them. You see that again.
Priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
She went off. She knows she went off. She's embarrassed. Stay on track, man. Stay focused, man. See, dementia, catch them, which is the Most High anyway. We went into that as well in one of my previous videos. Most High is throwing them in derision and he's laughing up there in the heavens.
Funds priorities submitted.
Take a look.
It funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Confusion. She starts laughing. She knows she's going completely off the rails. Just say aye. Aye. Completely going off the rails, these people. Let's check out some precepts, man. I want to look at this in, some of these words in the blue letter. Because it's actually what's taking place. Very similarly. Matter of fact, let's look at what it has to say in Google. The word that did come to my mind. In my mind to do a video on this word here. Because it's quite fitting. See if we can back up a little bit. Back up. The word froward. Because there's a whole heap of frowardness is going on right now. With the Senate lawmakers who make laws. That. Because if they do a law that is going off, it's pure confusion, which is what's happening. Pure confusion. People don't even know to, when they're told to do it, to just say aye. Just say aye. They're going off into a tantrum. Senile dementia. Froward, yeah, of a person difficult to deal with. Contrary. And senile people, they're very difficult. People that go see, they're difficult to deal with, man. They're difficult, man. Froward, what's the name of this? Because they just like to run their mouth, man. Yeah, froward. A froward. So I'm gonna jump down to what is a froward mouth. A froward mouth is a lying mouth. Deception of a lying mouth goes into that in Psalms 55. You see, Google's right there. Psalms 52 and 2 and 4. You're gonna get that. The tongue deviseth mischief. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's quoted it. The tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than speak righteousness. Yeah, they're loving evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Thou lovest all devouring words, and thou deceitful tongue. Yeah, devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. That is what a froward mouth does. I just tapped it in, froward, and now let's see what it says in about this. I tapped in froward mouth meaning likely to disobey and oppose. Yeah, willful. And we're going to look at it in the blue letter from the biblical perspective too. So that's what it says, likely to disobey and oppose. Like I say, when you get when they get dementia, because that's in their spirit anyway. That's the devil. The devil's an opposer, and it's very difficult to deal with it because they can't tell the truth, and they go off the rails. Willful, froward. Right, that's it, man. Yeah, and now the etymology. The etymology now says froward, turned against, perverse. Zoom in a bit. Perverse, disobedient, fiendish, adverse, difficult as a preposition, away from, with Old English neither, if I'm saying that right there, opposite of toward. It renders in the Latin in early translation of the Psalms, and also meant about to depart, departing, and doomed to die. Let me see. It says there, away, backwards, yeah, because it's contrary. Contrary is something opposite, or contrary is to go in a different direction. You're going in a contrary direction, away from, backwards. So that's what the froward mouth means, man. There you have it, then. There you have it. Now, we got a couple. I just tapped in Google. The word froward. The word froward. Now, comes up. Let me zoom in again. A bit more. How many times it come up there? Occurs 21 times in 20 verses, and that's in the KJV. So you have it there, man. It says there, and I just read a couple of these. Deuteronomy 32 and 20 says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. See, there's ways to go about having selected men. Let's look at a precept. Let's look at this precept here. Let's look at this precept. Proverbs chapters 8. I was looking at it earlier. I want to read it first. I want to read it out. Proverbs chapters 8 and 13. It says, the fear of the Lord, Proverbs chapter 8 and 13 says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. The froward mouth, now I want to see what it says about this in Google. The froward mouth do I hate. H8419 says, perversity, perverse thing. That's how it says it in, that's how it breaks it down in the blue letter. A perversity or fraud. Oh, it's short for fraud. Thing, perverse thing. That's plain and straightforward. Let's read that back up to 13 again. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, the evil way and the froward mouth do I hate. Now in Proverbs 8 and 14 now. It says, counsel is mine and sound wisdom I understand. I have strength, sound wisdom, and I am understanding. I have strength. Now let's look at the word. One word leads to another, another word leads to that. This one's from froward now to wisdom, sound wisdom. The Most High says sound wisdom. You might call that the opposite to froward. Sound wisdom. Well, let's hear what the quote is. How you quote it.
Strong's H 8454. Tushia. Tushia.
Wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound of efficiency, wisdom, sound or efficient, abiding, success, effective of sound wisdom. Right. So let's read 14 again, because I'm going to tap in so Proverbs 8 and 14 says, counsel is mine and sound wisdom I understand. I have strength. So yeah, man, I like to bring up the example of wise young man King Solomon, who was a shepherd, so he needed that wisdom. He knew he needed wisdom. And in a dream, the Most High said, because you asked for wisdom, I'm going to give you everything else above wisdom, the next of your enemies and all everything else. So he was asking in righteousness, so the Most High blessed him with wisdom. Now what happens when you tap in wisdom in the blue letter? Yes, wisdom occurs 234 times in 222 verses in the KJV. Now let's read this. Exodus 28 and 3 says, and thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garment to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. Let's read this one. Go read a couple of these. Exodus 31 and 3 says, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship. Now let's read this one. Exodus 31 and 3 and 6. And I behold, I have given with him Hoelab, the son of Ashamach, of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee. You know, it's anytime the Most High selects anybody, he gives them wisdom. Or a committee, or a senate, you might call it. He selects people who have wisdom, or he is with them. You know, and he gives them the spirit of wisdom. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom. Yeah, and it goes on to speak about again 28 Exodus 28 and 3, that thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garment in concrete him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. Right, I want to check that scripture out a bit more to get the context of that. 28, and let's go and see if we can get the context. The garment of the priest. Jump up to 1. It says, take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nabab, Abua, Eliza, and Althmama. Lucky I'm butchering these words. Aaron's sons, yeah, these were priests. All right. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron my brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. See all these people in the Senate today, man. What's this, a joke, man? They're all old age. They're all you know, at that age, and they're making making the laws of the land and enforcing them. 90-year-old woman, yeah, which we know the scriptures talk about women not supposed to be, you know. I mean, this we're talking about our laws, not the Babylonian, the laws of Babylon, because these are the Babylonians rekindled, resurrected today. We're not talking about, this is how they do their thing. You know, Astra Carly, you know, that famous, you know, old wizard, soothsayer, say, do as you please. That's you know, do as you please. They put anybody and anybody, even senile people, 90-year-old woman, 81-year-old Mitch McConnell, which we saw what happened to him, and Biden's 86. He's 86 years old. All of them are old, man. And Trump is around 82. Yeah, he's about 80. They're all in their they're all not well. So we're making a contrast here. In 3, thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, in whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. We ain't gonna have none of that going on in our kingdom. That puppy short, joke business. That they may make Aaron's garments to concrete him, that he may minister unto me in the priest of office. The Most High ain't choosing no senile people with senile dementia to be no lawmakers. In this case, he was making garments, but there's so many other precepts. When the Most High chose men, Moses, and his when he needed help, he chose his father-in-law Jethro to assist him, and he was another wise man, and then another 70 on top of that to make it. And these were men filled with spirit to assist in his help, to assist him to enforce laws or sit on as judges to judge the nations. These had to be men filled with the Holy Spirit of the Lord. You understand? I could get into that a little bit more, Abaratazar, you know, later on in the week. There's many precepts on wisdom. We can go into some of this, but you know, there's a lot of things going on in the news, and we're gonna get into some more news too. You know, these news things that are taking place, which is Most High throwing them in derision, which I've done a video on that. So there we have it, a contrast between this kingdom and how we gonna have our kingdom running. It's gonna be run on wisdom, which men are gonna be filled with the spirit of the wisdom of the Lord. This is why this place is wicked and it's going off, because these are the type of people that are ruling. Yeah, Proverbs 8:10 says, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. Yeah, for wisdom is better than rubies. Here you have it here, talking about the benefits of wisdom. As a matter of fact, I looked up I want to look into this word in wisdom, because we haven't really looked at that yet, which could be another video. But let's get into this word here. What does it say in the blue letter? Get into it a little bit more, Abaratazar, because I'll just use that example there. What's going on in the Senate? Their health concerns was taking place in the Senate as a teaching moment. Let's go into this. Just to let you know, man, this place is finished. This place is finished.
Strong's H 2451. Chokhmah.
Wisdom, right? That's how you pronounce it there in the Hebrew and the Greek. Skilled in war, wisdom. Skilled in war. You see, people think, oh, if you just wisdom, you're just a passive person. You don't, you have to just take everything. Well, that time coming, man. Jeremiah 16:16. I always quote that scripture, man. Skilled in war, wisdom, you see. Oh, talking of war, we just see that fight Saturday. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. And I was always going, I know this is real talk. I was going with Terence Crawford, because I always said, and brothers who I've spoken to about boxing, now that's one of my hobbies. Terence Crawford is a demon. He's got a fighting demon, which demon just means, it just means intelligence. And I've noticed every time he's had his fight, these last 10 fights were all knockouts. Yeah, these were men in his weight, and within 14 years he's had only about 3 that's gone the distance within 14 years. So his last 10 fights have all been knockouts. None of them have gone the distance. So there was comparing Errol Spence as the bigger guy, the stronger guy. Which when you watch, if you see any of Terence Crawford's fights, he always rises. He rises his level according to his opposition. He fights according to his opposition. So if you rise your level, he rises his level. So he's always rising his level. He fights to the level of his opponent. So he rises his level to the level of his opponents, which I said it's the acumen. His acumen combined with his his skill, combined with his strength, combined with his footwork. Box fighting is just, people think it's just about getting in the ring. People think boxing is just about getting in the ring and slugging it out. Which, yeah, that may take you a little, some way if you're very good, aka Deontay Wilder. But when you come up, see what happened to Deontay Wilder, he was known for his sniper boxing ability, which he has some boxing ability, but really he's about that power, and he's a sniper. So he picks, when he's going to shoot off his rifle, he snipes them, and he rifles through, and that's how he hits the point. But if you've got someone who knows when you're going to snipe, he reads you well, someone who's a boxing acumen, someone who's into the pugilism of the sport, the science of the sport, he'll be able to know, he'll read you, and he will know before you set your snipes. You just know when to move. Before you even make your move, he's already counted you. Someone like Tyson Fury. That's what happened with Deontay Wilder. So boxing, being a heavy hand sniper, can only take you so far. So that's what Errol Spence thought. He's going to be able to walk him down and grind him down. Just grind him into the ground. He's known for being he said, I'm going to break him. I'm going to break Terence Crawford. But while you were saying that, which that took you so far to be able to grind down your opponents, but when you come up with someone who's a killer, because Terence Crawford is a killer. He's been from off the streets in his hometown. He's been shot in the head, which was the Most High, an angel protected him, because maybe he's got some things he needs to Most High had him as being a boxer, so he wasn't ready to put him, send him up to the heavens, send him back to the heavens yet. Which Errol Spence has also been in battles too. He's been in car crashes and all kinds of things. But they're both warriors. There's no doubt about that. They're both warriors. So that was what I was just thinking. Yeah, because wisdom, skill in war. That's why, hence those men like Floyd Mayweather. I mentioned Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. They're not just about skill. People think, they're just about skill. No, it's about acumen and about reading the spirits, reading your opponents, knowing who you're up against, knowing how to be a counterpuncher when necessary, knowing when to be a slugger when necessary. Terence Crawford, they're saying now he's the pound for pound, number one, which I believe. I'll say yes. And if you have the wisdom or that dragon-like wisdom, they say, that person's he's got this wisdom of a serpent. You understand? You can put that into a lot of things, man. So skill in war, the first person that come to mind, all the prophets were wise, as we just looked at, and they had wisdom, the Most High, wisdom from on high. King David was one of the top man. It goes into King David, how he was a man skilled in war, and the Lord was with him. That's in 1 Samuel 16 and 18. How the Lord, first and foremost, was why he was able to slay Goliath, because the Lord was with him, and then the Most High put the spirit of war in him. Skill, which is wisdom. We're going into it. Wisdom in administration. Wisdom is not just about being a passive individual and being able to give out law, being a lawmaker. You'll have wisdom. You're going to have a lot. Wisdom is big. Wisdom is a broad thing. Gives you a broader mind on things. Like Solomon again, he was able to shepherd his people and understand between the right and the wrong, and to be judged, to be able to judge with that little baby. The woman, one of them was sincere, one of them was a liar, and he made that distinction. The one who was lying, by saying he's going to cut the baby in half, And it stirred up the emotion. So the one who came forward said, yeah, kill it. He knew she was lying. So wisdom is able to do that, man. Wisdom in administration, shrewdness. Yeah, wisdom covers a lot of things. Wisdom, prudence in religious affairs, you see. Wisdom, ethical and religious. So there you have it, man. Most High, when he selects, when we're going to be ruled, we're going to be ruled by the 144,000 and King David and Yahweh, yeah, with Yahweh Shai under Yahweh, which is all going to be ruled of the Holy Spirit, guided through wisdom of the Holy Spirit. That's what's going to keep the kingdom running. Because this thing right here, we see these people that they're just a joke. It's just a joke thing. They're making mockery. Let's end off with these precepts now. So I looked at Proverbs 8. It says wisdom, Proverbs 8:11 says, wisdom is better than rubies and all the things that may be desired, not to be compared. Wisdom dwelleth with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. See how important wisdom is? Yeah, we made that comparison. You know, all the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is no frowardness or perverse in them. Yeah, the froward is about, we just looked at that, is perverse. Like a fraud, a liar, someone difficult to deal with, like these people today. That's why the Most High throwing them in derision, giving them all kind of memory loss, freezing them up, giving them amnesia and dementia. They're suffering from dementia, man. It issued a massive blow to them. Yeah? All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. Who's saying this, man? The commendation of wisdom. Yeah, the wise man. Yeah? Doth not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? Sophia. Wisdom's crying out. Yeah? Wisdom's crying out. These people are hungry for wisdom, but they are estranged of the Most High. That's why the Most High, that is why the kingdom is, if you don't tighten one screw, everything falls apart. This is what's happening. That's why this kingdom is falling apart, because it's not tightened with the screw of wisdom. And wisdom dwelleth with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. We want to end with the last one here. In Proverbs chapters 8 and 31, it says, the mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be put out. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be put out. Right. Throwing them in derision, giving them dementia. Yeah, the lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness. See that? These people are they're falling to pieces, man. You see? The mouth of the righteous speaketh righteousness, but the froward tongue shall be put out. The froward tongue shall be put out. Look what's happening here. I find this quite funny.
Take a look.
It funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Thank you.
Right, see this? Kind of. The froward tongue is being put out, man. So I want to end with that. Yeah, if you don't tighten one screw, the whole thing falls apart. The froward tongue is being put out right now, as you can see. This is a damn laughing stock. It's a joke. And they're even laughing at themselves, man. So the word to Yabashim Shaf put the spirit on me to do another video. Shalom to all the sincere Akim. The house of David is rising, and the froward tongue is being put out. Yeah, man, everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head. Shalom is on to the next.